How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Florida State family, Seminole Nation, NEA 63 tribe. He's your boy Pope, a.k.a. A-Lo, a.k.a. the Got Damn Truth. How are y'all feeling tonight? You should be feeling fairly happy. I'm just adjusting a little bit of audio here, guys. Give me a second. All right. How are we feeling, y'all? Never doubted it. If you don't know, you're about to find out. Charles Lester III made his long awaited commitment tonight. And, we've been saying for a while, man, Florida State lean, Florida State lean. And it got a little interesting by the end of this thing. He made it a little interesting. Colorado, the man that keeps FSU fans up at night, primetime Deion Sanders, got involved in this thing late. Well, I won't say he got involved in it late, but Colorado made a late push and made it interesting down the stretch. So much so that people were making videos and Twitter spaces and Florida State fans had conceded all but 3 days ago. Oh, don't think hey, we got receipts, we got screenshots, we got bookmarks, we got all of that. They had all but conceded 3 days ago, only to come back on a Friday and have to eat those words. Give me a second while I have cheers to Charles Lester. It feels good. Let's get to it, right? Charles Lester III's recruitment, and you can say this about any recruitment. I just want to be very clear on this. It's not over. Dion may have lost this battle. We'll see what happens in the Ultimate War. And the Ultimate War isn't until that ink is to paper. That's when the war is won. But I've never doubted Charles Lester. I've always said that I felt Florida State lock. Matter of fact, I even went as far as to say, if we don't land Charles Lester, I'm going to have really, really, really strong words to say about this staff. That's how confident I was. I've also said that I think Lester. So this is where I must change my stance a little bit on this. I was also saying that I think once Lester commits, he's going to be 100% locked in. And I'm not saying he's not 100% locked in. But I will say the way this thing ended, the way this recruitment finished with the theatrics, and I mean, I don't know who watched the commitment ceremony. I must say, again, shout out to Lester, the newest Noel of the Tribe 24, and it's his moment, and you do your moment how you want to do your moment. That was one of the more discombobulated ceremonies I've watched. There was just it seemed like there was just so much going on with guys wearing different shirts and the music, and I don't know, man. It seemed like there was a lot going on, so I wasn't too fond of the actual ceremony. Just how it kind of was, at least how it came off on the live stream. Maybe it was a better live event than it was, coming off on the computer or whatever. But the way that thing kind of finished, and the way Lester played the game here down the stretch. When I told y'all he was playing the game this week, I said he's playing the game, and you could see it, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's done. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's done. I don't know if it's done. But it is what it is, right? That's over. That part of it's over. Florida State moves up to number. Let's see. I know they moved up to the top 10, number 7 on 3. Let's see where Florida State moves in the composite. In the composite, we move up to number 8 with 18 commits, a 91 average, 2 5-stars, and 11 4-stars. Blue chip ratio is going insane right now. That's a 13-5 blue chip ratio. Don't let the rivals see that. We in there, guys. We in there. We are in there. And newsflash, we're not done this weekend. In case you don't know, you're finna find out. By the way, hit that like button if you're new. Subscribe, or hit the like button regardless. Hit the like button just for being in the building. Subscribe if you're new. If you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. And please share the video as we continue to pump out this Florida State Seminole content and show y'all that we really run this YouTube thing over here when it comes to the Seminoles. I can't speak for anybody else, but when it comes to these Seminoles, we run this thing around here. But if you don't know, you're finna find out. Atkins said, you're going to put some respect on my name. Former USC commit. I can't pronounce the young man's name, but I'm going to give it a shot. Give me 1 second while I bring up. I'm going to try to read this thing and pronounce it. Hold on. Let me scroll. I should have all this stuff prepared right before I go live, right? Well, that's not how we do it over here. We do everything off the cuff. Manesse ITT. If I'm butchering your name, young man, I apologize. That is a 4-star from the West Coast, who I thought was a lock to Florida State originally. He proved me wrong. He committed to USC. But guess what? He's decommitted from USC today and plans to announce his new commitment tomorrow. And all crystal balls, everybody from Fong, the GOAT, to everybody has pretty much penciled him in as a flip to Florida State. So all those recruiting battles that y'all were complaining about earlier in the week, are we winning them yet? Or are y'all still, where's your balls at? Are we winning the recruiting battles that y'all cried about earlier in the week, or are we here yet? I don't know. I got a couple super chats that I cannot miss. My man Jeff with the $10 said, I kept saying I was full and confident. Even if he visits Colorado, I wasn't worried. I kept saying that, and look what happened. He committed to the good guys. Yes, he did, Jeff. He absolutely committed to the good guys.
Jeff.
Chat for my man Peter Shields with the $5 dono. Baby video game controller sits in a diaper. I hate when this app does that. You must have did a super sticker, Peter. Let me go look at the super sticker. It said baby video game controller. Let me go see what the super sticker looks like. I got you, Peter. I got you. It says noob with a controller and a diaper, looking like a baby. Shout out to Peter with the super sticker.
Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
Tell him again, Tyler. We don't have any major recruiting risk. Meanwhile, right now, FSU have won a 16 with multiple 5 stars. A 91. Hold on, let me go back. Let me be accurate. A 91.02 average recruiting ranking. That is higher than Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan. Less than point. What is that? Right on the heels of Florida. Higher than LSU, Oregon. What are we talking about? Oklahoma, we're blowing Miami out the water. They've got more 3 stars and they have blue chip recruits. Even higher than Texas, but Florida State for some reason and his staff has a reputation of they can't recruit. Somebody gotta fix that. Somebody gotta fix that. Our resident Dion fan has chimed in. Mr. Maurice, how are you tonight? He says, only fools said FSU wasn't winning in the recruitment battle. I don't know FSU secondary, but will he start next season? Great question. Tough to answer. First, is he going to be an early enrollee? That is my first one. Anytime you ask, can a freshman start? Are they early enrolling? Secondly, FSU will be losing what? They'll be losing at least Ronaldo Green. I think, don't quote me on this one. I got to go check. I think Green Vance might be a senior. I'm pretty sure Ronaldo Green and Jerry Jones are seniors also in the DB in that corner room. I think Fentrell is actually a redshirt junior, so he has another year to come back if he wants it. There's a chance he could start, but you have AZ on the rise, obviously. And I mean, you signed 6 or 5 DBs this last cycle. They're going to be competing. He may or may not start. So tomorrow, check out again. What's the young man's name again? I'm not going to butcher his name again, but that should be a guy that we are expecting to commit. So you're talking about in one weekend, you're talking about getting the number 2 corner in the country and a 4-star offensive lineman that we have been pushing hard to get. I mean, when we get this young man tomorrow, what would that get us? In fact, let's look up his exact. Let's see. Let's look him up real quick. I just want to see where he's ranked overall. So right now, he is the 12th ranked offensive tackle in the entire country. He is a top 150 player according to 247. Matter of fact, let me go to the composite. Okay, in the composite, he falls a little bit in the composite. We'll go off of the composite. 331 nationally, 26 offensive tackle, but he's still a 4-star with a 90 overall ranking or rating, excuse me. There you go. Another big time commitment tomorrow looming for the good guys. So, again, hit the like button, man. Subscribe, share the video. But what was the point of earlier in the week? What was the point of the panic? What was the point of all of that only to come Friday and say, oops, my bad? The vague tweets didn't matter. None of it mattered. Here we are. Literally, what, two days later, and everybody's happy. Oh, and by the way, 5 stars seem to matter tonight, as nobody is mad at Charles Lester committing to Florida State. So good vibes all around for Florida State. Good vibes for this entire weekend. I mean, what is there left? My not, yeah, Dan Squatch, you got it. You got it. He's going to commit to the good guys tomorrow. And so Florida State is going to close off the month of July extremely strong. I mean, think about this. In the month of July, Florida State got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Florida State will finish 9 commits in the month of July. So in the month of July, Florida State they get Ty Hilton, Ricky Knight, Dede Holmes, Darius Morgan, Elijah Moore, Jonathan Daniels, Makai Danzy, Charles Lester III, and they'll finish off with again the young man from California who, again, I'm not even going to try. What are we talking about? I've been feeling good about recruiting this entire time. I was trying to tell people just relax on the recruiting tip. We good, man. We're good. Now, again, you can say it about anything. You can say it about any player. You got to recruit them to the end. That goes for any player. That goes for any top caliber player or any player in general. You got to recruit them to the end. Okay. We'll see how long we last in the top 10, because I do expect, and I've also been saying this for a couple weeks, I think Wayne McCoy is going to be the next person to leave this class. I think he's going to be the next decommitment. Then he's going to flip to Miami. I don't know when that will be, but all signs seem to point that way. But again, no one should be surprised. We've only been talking about this for 3-4 weeks, whatever it's been. Right? So no one should be surprised. But we aren't done yet. We are not done. Offensive lineman tomorrow. Oh, by the way, his name is leaving me right now. Somebody help me out. Y'all don't even know who I'm talking about, so y'all can't help me out. I got it though. Give me 1 second. Trying to find this young man's name. DB. Y'all know him. Jamari Howard. That's what I'm talking about. By the way, he'll be visiting Florida State this weekend, I think, while not visiting Florida. I think he canceled a visit to Florida, but he will be, of course, coming to the good guys. So the DB's not done. We still have the recruitment of Solomon looming. I told you guys I don't really feel confident in that one, but we'll see how it plays out. Oh, and by the way, Noles 850 just hit it. Is that his name? Ardavius Jones. Hold on. Yeah, I talked about Jamari Howard, and then the defensive tackle or whatever that just committed to Miami like last week. He takes a visit yesterday and says now he's locked in with Florida State and Miami. I think he's right out of Tallahassee's backyard. We're not done. Maybe Odell has finally woke up, and let's see if he can snatch one from the clutches of the great Cuban himself, Mario Cristobal. At the end of the day, we're not done recruiting. You got to love the vibes. They have momentum. Like I said a couple days ago, man, I don't understand how we let a visit that everybody knew was happening put us in the panic mode. What's been a great offseason. Florida State hasn't had an offseason like this in almost 10 years. 6 at least, right? With the expectations, with the players that we've gotten through the portal, top tier players. And yet we sat here on Wednesday and had a meltdown for no reason. Let's go to the comments and see what y'all are talking about in the comments. You also have KJ Bolden looming as well. I mean, that's another recruitment to watch. I don't know there. If they got me KJ Bolden, I'd probably blow a gasket. I'm not going to lie to you. They melted down when news broke he was taking a visit. Then they melted down when he showed up on the visit. Now tonight, where they're at, they're nowhere to be found. Also, I mean, I give Maurice. He is a Colorado. He's a Dion fan. Let me rephrase that. But yes, also the Colorado fans who come in here and tell me that he was going to Colorado are also nowhere to be found. And of course, here comes John. Did they sign yet? Nope. Of course they didn't sign. Guess what? No one in your class has signed yet either. So it's a mute point. You're not making any real point. Of course, no one signed in July. But I want you to check July recruiting, at least for Florida State. I can't speak for other schools. Mike Norvell has really secured his classes in the month of July. Again, the problem with Mike Norvell and company haven't been summer recruiting. Most of their summer guys stick. If you actually go check the data. The problem is they haven't closed as well as maybe they should have in the month of December. That's been the problem for Mike Norvell and Florida State. Sucks when NCAA has caused people to discuss portal and decommitment. You want to move out, sit out a year. I don't know if Joe Long doesn't seem to be a fan of the portal. Also, man, another big talking point that's hit up this week. Get off my screen. Has been realignment. That buzz has picked right back up with some 247 reporting that Florida State is actively. They've gone from discussing things. Florida State is now actively trying to get out of the ACC, and all the buzz has been the Big Ten. Colorado has already officially made the move that I think begins next year from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. There's an alleged rumor, very credible rumor, that there's going to be another Pac-12 team that's going to join them to the Big 12. The Pac-12 is all but dissolving right in front of your eyes. And I'm telling you right now, if Florida State is actively trying to get out of the ACC, when that domino falls, that same thing will happen. Just like you saw when USC and UCLA officially got out of the Pac-12, and now all the cards are falling. The same thing's going to happen to the ACC once Florida State makes that move to the Big. It's going to happen. The ACC from that point on will crumble because Clemson's not going to stay. Miami's probably going to be looking for their way out. The only teams that carry the conference are all going to try to get out of the ACC. So it is an exciting time to be a Seminole. You got Charles Lister III. You got a big commitment looming tomorrow. Hell, you got big commitments looming throughout the summer into the season, and there's a great chance that Florida State is out of this god awful conference way sooner than maybe some of us predicted or thought was possible. It is Mike Alfred's the man. Put it like that. I'm at a loss for words. Insane says Mike Norvell is cooking with fish grease. I believe he will flip Smith and KJ. Those would be very big flips. Well, you can't flip KJ because KJ hasn't committed. Though I've also, I have said I don't think on the 5th he says Florida State, but I don't think that recruitment's done. But we'll see what happens with Bolden. I think Florida State will be active with Bolden to the end. Jeremiah Smith is on campus this weekend as well for another visit. Now, to that one, though, he's visiting all of the Florida schools. Smith has been to every Florida school on multiple visits. So I don't know what's separating Florida State from the other two, with the exception of our offense is probably going to be far superior than what Miami and Florida put on the field this year. But Jeremiah Smith has continued to visit all the Florida schools. He'll be in Tallahassee this weekend. So, like I say with KJ, like I say with any of these top guys, if they continue to flirt with you, you got to continue to give them all your attention back. That's the game we play in recruiting. As long as they show interest, you got to continue to recruit them. And right now, they still taking visits. Daryl Jackson. From what I understand, there's still no update on that. Still no update on that. It went from being at the end of June to the end of July, and now we'll see what happens before the season starts right now. So, Marco, you hope FSU isn't going anywhere, but I want you to pay attention. You hope because Louisville, again, see, Marco's a Louisville fan for those that know. So he hopes Florida State doesn't go anywhere because once Florida State goes, like I just said, that's the first domino to fall, and then the ACC will crumble once the most popular program in the conference that draws the most eyes, most viewers, dips, that conference folds. I don't know where Louisville ends up if the ACC folds. So if I were you, Marco, I'd be a little worried as well. But I want you to pay attention to the news. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. This isn't just a pipe dream anymore. This isn't just speculation. The Big Ten has now expressed the interest. Here we are. KJ to the good guys. Know the rules says the ACC commissioner gave FSU all the news they needed to know at media day when they basically all they said was the ACC partner. Yeah. Bro, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. LJ McCray's a guy. Yeah, exactly right. We got to get him back on campus. Marco says we're not going to the SEC, bro. At least that's not what it looks right now. I don't think we're not going to the SEC. Louisville might fit better in the Big Ten anyway, especially regionally. I mean, Kentucky's like right in the middle of that's right there with Ohio, Michigan. But yeah, Florida State is not looking like the SEC. I personally wouldn't mind either conference, though. I've always felt y'all can go. Y'all know if you've been around here for longer than a day, you already know I've always been pumping the Big Ten, not the SEC. Not that I have anything against the SEC. The Big Ten makes more money, and I'm not going to lie to you, it's an easier path. The SEC is about to be brutal, man. The way Sarkisian's recruiting at Texas, I got to think Venables turns it around at Oklahoma at some point, and if he doesn't, Oklahoma's the type of program they're not going to hesitate to make a move, right? Yeah, man. Oklahoma, Texas, already adding to that Butcher's row in the SEC. Give me the Big Ten. Give me the Big Ten. I like our matchups up there. We'll meet SEC. We'll meet the SEC in the playoffs. That's the way I look at it anyway. That's how I look at it. But again, man, hit the like button. 134 people hit the like button. Big news tonight. Charles Lester III commits to Florida State. Verbally committed, obviously. Whole long way to go. But here we are. A lot of people thought he wasn't coming. Primetime was going to pull another one. Granted, I'll say this. Deion's got us right where he wants us. He's done this before. Whether it was with Hunter or Cromartie McClain. Deion's got us right where he wants us, y'all. We got to commit, but Deion don't make his moves till signing day. It's signing day when Deion pulls the fast one and gets the guy. So, in all honesty, Deion's got us right where he wants us. But at the end of the day, we got him tonight, and we'll see how that plays out for the rest until December. So big news tonight if you're just tuning in. And unless you live under a rock, if you're here, you're obviously a Florida State fan. And a low-key, I know the rivals are watching. They're just not speaking. But if you're here, you Florida State fan, you already know. Charles Lester III, cornerback number one. Quarterback number one was there at the ceremony tonight, him and his dad. So that was the first dead giveaway, if you ask me. There's no way Luke makes that trip to Sarasota, Florida, from Georgia to witness some tomfoolery. There's no way me and Dad come to your ceremony and you put on a Colorado hat and a shirt. Because if that would have happened, me and you gotta if I'm Luke and Lester would have did that, we would have had to square up after your ceremony. Right there on the stage, me and you would have had to throw hands. So there's that. The QB1 was at the ceremony tonight. Him and his father took some pictures after the fact. Looks like this class is actually pretty close. So, I mean, again, I don't know. Do you invite quarterback one and his dad to your ceremony only to flip later on? I don't think so, right? All the signs to me point to being very solid in your commitment. Anything can happen, so you don't want to see it. I don't want to say anything, absolute, right? Only a Sith deals in absolutes. We don't deal in absolutes. So I don't want to say anything's absolute, but I don't think you do that. Just like last year with Hakeem, everybody said that recruitment wasn't over. And I was like, man, there's no way if you're Hakeem, you bring P-Dub and Snoop Menace to your ceremony and hand you a jersey and do all of that, only for you to flip later on. Just didn't seem feasible. Maybe something a little similar here happened tonight. So Charles Lester III, a Nole, as I said he always would be. Back to the comment section. Hit the like button, share the videos. If you like what you see, again, subscribe. If you're new, this is what we do. What are we talking about, Peter? Not Peter. I'm sorry, John. Why are we talking about 52-10 3 years after the fact, John? Let 52-10 go. Ever since 52-10, it's been downhill for Miami. That's been the peak of the last 5 years for that program. 52-10. The same season you put 52-10 on us, you gave up 700 yards of rushing to North Carolina and got embarrassed in the Cheez-It Bowl by, I think, who'd y'all play in the Cheez-It Bowl that year? Oklahoma State, I think, put it on y'all. What are we talking about? Oh, and then the next year, you lose in Tallahassee. Last year, you get blown out 45-3. Miami fans, go sit in a corner and get yourself together. This isn't the place or time for the little kids to talk. This is big boy talk on the screen right now. You'll have your moment, hopefully one day. Eventually, Mario Cristobal will figure something out. But as right now, it's big boy talk tonight. Sit back and watch. Another dumb comment. I gotta stop entertaining John. FSU doesn't have the academics. I'll let y'all deal with John. I'm not doing that no more. Let's see what else we got. Demo says if FSU can get KJ, they will have a top DB. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. KJ and Lester, that seals it, right? That seals it. Insane says I'd rather play Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas than Minnesota, Rutgers. You said Minnesota twice. Um, but again, touche to whatever you think you want to play. I mean, hey, that's your, that's your, you rather play. Those are tougher games. Georgia, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Um, we already play Florida every year. So for me, if you're telling me, but my schedule is Florida, I don't know, Ohio State, Michigan, and USC, I'll take that schedule. I mean, that's a damn good schedule. I don't. I mean, arguably, man, I don't want to play Georgia, Auburn, Bama back to back. I mean, it'd be fun to watch, but I don't want to. Probably don't want to play that. I think, man, I think the SEC is going to be. That's going to be a conference where I'm telling you, I already predicted it this year, but I think going forward, it wouldn't surprise me. Luckily for the SEC, I think entering the 12-team playoff is definitely going to benefit them. But it wouldn't surprise me in the SEC if everybody, like you're talking about multiple lost teams year in and year out. Just too brutal of a schedule. Like it's just going to happen, right? It's just going to happen. Absolutely. Champs does not think JoJo ends up at UM. I think it's going to have to take a terrible season for JoJo not to end up at UM. AZ will be a junior by the time Lester gets here, yes. Terrell says, I want Big Ten because softball matchups. Oh, Lord. Good. Touche. And that's it for the comments. Keep the comments coming. What else we got? Says iron sharpens iron. Yeah, it can. It can also iron sharpens iron in house. You can also beat each other up to the point where you won't even get a chance to go to the big dance. So double-edged sword there with the whole iron sharpens iron theory. Maybe. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, Big Ten has shown interest in Florida State, so we'll see. It is being rumored that obviously it's like Miami or Clemson would have to be Florida State's partner. I think it's going to be Miami that ends up being Florida State's partner if we were to try to move to the Big Ten. It wouldn't shock me if Clemson ended up in the SEC. And maybe they would move with one of those Carolina schools. I feel like it'd have to be. But again, we'll see. Also, Tyler just hit on it. They broke the rock. Tatum Bethune had the honor of breaking the rock. And I also saw a picture of Trey Benson, sort of before and after picture when he first got here to now. Look, man, Coach Storms is doing his thing, but we knew Coach Storms was doing his thing. Everything that has come to fruition is the culmination of 3 years going into year 4 of honestly just hard work. And the road wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was always upbeat and enthusiastic about what I was watching. It was very hard to be. 2 years ago, you started 0-4 with a loss to Jack. If you were pumping rainbows and lollipops through that 0-4 start, then good for you. I applaud you. You're a better fan than me because I was pissed. And I think a majority of people were pissed. But never once called for the man's job because I did understand the unique situation that he took over. And we all want instant results, but the truth is that's just the way it is in this time and age. There was a time where most coaches got 3 to 4 years to turn a program around once they got hired. That was the norm. You had to circulate the old guys out, get the new guys in. Your new guys, once they hit year 3 or 4, that junior, senior year, now we were talking about expectations. We're living at a day and age and a culture now where, you know, if you don't have success in the first 2 years, everybody wants to throw you out of here. So I get it. But it's no coincidence that in year 4, things look like they're starting to cook for the garnet and the gold. And if you still doubting at this point, I don't think Mike Norvell will never win you over if you can still find fault in what's going on right now. People still want to criticize recruiting, and there are positions that we need to recruit better at. Don't get me wrong. Defensive recruiting needs to pick up. What I'm hoping is you get a guy like so on the offensive side, you already had Luke Kromenhoff, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the nation. You already got Cam Davis, one of the better running backs in the entire nation. On the offensive side, you already had your bell cows that help you recruit other good players on the offense. You got Landon Thomas, the best tight end in the nation. You got Jonathan Daniels, one of the better offensive linemen. In a weak offensive line class as a whole, he's one of the better ones. You about to get another 4-star offensive lineman this Saturday. Wide receiver room that's stacked. Even if you lose LaWayne McCoy, you're not done at wide receiver, not by a long shot. Offensive recruiting right now is absolutely on fire. Where we need to fix it is glaringly on the defensive side of the football. I don't think anybody can deny that. I'm hoping Charles Lester III is that spark that the defensive recruiting needs. Now they see that guy, and now kids want to go play with that guy. Now KJ Bolden, who, again, I'm not saying we're getting KJ Bolden on August the 5th. But KJ Bolden grew up a fan of Florida State. That's his lifelong team. All that stuff we hear in years prior. But now, somebody like a KJ Bolden goes, whatever. Now he's looking like, okay, I can play in the secondary with that guy. Solomon looks, I can play opposite of that guy. So it's possible that now, here we are, and we can get some guys to say, you know what, I want to play on that defense with that guy. Maybe Lester can be our defensive bell cow because, damn it, we need it. Back to the comments. Let's see what we got. Let me scroll up. What's up, Surfer? I try, bro. I try. John Shields, what do you know, man? Yeah, none of them know anything about it. AAU. They just piggyback off of stuff that they hear other people on the computer say. They don't know anything about the criteria. They just piggyback off what everybody else says. Applaud Insane Mob because even through the storm, he claims he never wavered. Congratulations to you. Plan on going to Ireland. I don't think I'll be able to go to that. Rob says, we are worried about Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Bama's of the world, not Miami, who can't even fill up half their stadium. And that, obviously, how much Deion's not going down without a fight. So I don't know, can you get Charles Lester to shut it down? He's probably going to have an open line with that man up until December. I'm convinced. I'm pretty sure. It's an interesting dynamic because you have to think about this. The man was literally just in front of Deion's face, a day or two ago? A day ago. He was literally just in Deion's face. Do you think he went to Colorado? And this valid question. I would love to get other people's opinions. Do you think he went to Colorado and didn't tell Deion? When he went to Colorado, he knew what he wanted to do. Matter of fact, there's a video circulating on Twitter right now. The moment that Lester actually committed to Florida State and to Mike Norvell, they're hugging and all that good stuff. There's actually a video circulating, and he honored that. Do you think he didn't tell Primetime that? I'm curious of that because I think, and I don't know the young man. I don't know how he operates. I don't think Deion was blindsided by this. Obviously, Deion wouldn't care. You're committed. Okay, well, I'm still going to recruit you. And Lester probably was like, okay, you continue to recruit me, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And they're going to continue down the same path. Deion doesn't really care. And I think Lester was upfront with him probably about his plans. I'm pretty positive of that. Again, don't know for a fact, but that's just my feeling on that. Coach Atkins is making 1.5 this year, goes to 1.25 next year. Do you think that's enough to keep him, or should we bump him up some? He's making good money for a coordinator. That's good money for a coordinator. Here's the deal with Atkins, and I've said this before, and I stand on this one too, because I think that is the case. Atkins has had opportunities to go elsewhere already. I think he's looking for a particular job, and I don't think he's looking for a lateral job. I think he's looking for the right head coaching job. And again, I know he's an offensive coordinator, and he works hand in hand with Norvell, though I'm pretty sure Norvell actually calls the plays. Maybe if a team offers him the same salary or better and play calling duties, he would take that. I think he's looking for a specific job. I don't think the worry should be that he's just going to up and leave for any old job. I do think the man continues to show he's the biggest dog on the yard in this recruiting thing. How many times does Alex Atkins have to prove to y'all that when he wants something, he goes and gets it? Let me tell you something right now. I think the offensive lineman out of Clearwater, that recruitment's not over. The other guy that committed to USC, I think his last name is Zamandela, offensive lineman out of Clearwater. He was Simmons' teammate last year. And you already know we got Simmons on campus now. Freshman offensive tackle, 6'9", the Swedish giant. Yes. I don't think that when Atkins wants something, he goes and gets it, and he proves it year after year after year. When he wants you, he could do it the easy way or the hard way. But when I want you, I'm going to get you. That's going to demand, this is an acquisition business, a talent acquisition business, as they say. That alone is going to have him high priority for somebody. How much does Florida State want to keep him? And how much does Atkins want to stay? And, there's a lot of things that go into that. A lot of things. I don't know. I think it would not shock me if next year he was gone. I don't want it, but it wouldn't shock me. Yeah, y'all deal with John. I don't know. You would think I don't know. You think John would be happy about Miami's recruiting class? I don't know why John come over here wanting to bother people, bro. Miami fans, it's just misery loves company, bro. You go 5-7. You got what's Miami got? Hold on, let me go back to these team rankings. You're 5-7. Right now, you only got like 4 recruits that's really worth a damn. And everything else is not even nationally ranked. Like literally, Miami has like 4 guys that are decent players, and then it just bottoms out and goes to like the 500. Look, 600 ranked player in the country. you would think he'd be like worried about that, but he's over here messing with us. Misery loves company. The problem is we not miserable over here. Super chat $5. My man Jeff says if we could pick up recruiting on defense of tackles, defense ends, but I feel good about everywhere else. If I this entire defense as a whole, Jeff. I mean, tackle, end, linebacker, tackles, end, like the whole front 7 needs we need to uptick the recruiting in the whole front 7. But appreciate the $5 dono as always.
Jeff.
Hit the like button for me. By all means, hit the like button for me. Like Greg Jones hits DBs.
Go your motherfucking ass to sleep. Whoa, shit, what the fuck good buddy hit me with? I told him I wasn't sleepy. He had to have a brick in that bitch.
Catching up in the comments. Young Seminole says Miami hasn't had anything to be happy about in 20 years, so they got to find something. Panama Jack, what's going on with you? He says, I didn't know until tonight Charles Lessers was a silent commit since his last OV. Terrell says, someone have alcohol? I need the good stuff. What drink is good? Marco is a headache. Mr. Maurice back in it. He says, crushed the recruiting class for 2022. I feel better about this year. And you should. Every year you should have better expectations. There's no reason why Miami shouldn't feel, easy schedule. You should have somewhat of an uptick in talent, though I don't think y'all were a less talented team last year. Just some growing pains. So we'll see what happens with them, man. We'll see. Carrie, what's good with you? Any word on if Gregory? I don't know what's going on with that. But we do know that Nick O'Leary, I don't know if I talked about this or not, but Nick O'Leary is now part of the staff. If you didn't know, now you know. Former Florida State great tight end, the greatest tight end in the history of the school. Nick O'Leary, national champion. All that good stuff is now on the staff at Florida State, which is amazing because Nick O'Leary will now get to coach the next great Florida State tight end, Landon Thomas. So that's going to be fun to watch, and he will have an opportunity to coach that young man and lead him to maybe accomplish the same things that he accomplished at Florida State. So I don't know about Greg Reed, but I do know about Nick O'Leary. Nick O'Leary is now on the staff in Tallahassee. Know the Rules said built the trenches in their last class, but where are the playmakers? Great question. I'm pretty sure John will shortly have an answer for you of who's catching the ball for Tyler Van Dyke in Coral Gables. Lester was a silent commit the whole time. Darren Hill in the building says, last time Miami felt great about recruit is when they found out Brad Kai's mom was Felicia from Friday. I actually like that one, Darren. Shout out to Darren. Carrie, can you be successful building from the outside in, meaning skilled players before the trenches? Interesting question. It's taking me a while to answer this because somebody that I respect and knows a lot more about football than I do actually brought this to me, saying in today's age of ball, if I can get and this was a few years ago, but essentially we were talking about Jalen Ramsey, and he mentioned if I can get a DB that can jam a wide receiver and mess up the timing for 2 to 3 seconds, which is a lifetime, then I've already, given that defensive front more than enough time, right, to get to the ball. The longer it takes, essentially, in today's game with the quick reads, the longer it takes a receiver to get open, the better off your defensive line would be. And obviously, defensive line, get to my philosophy, though I understand and I don't necessarily disagree with that opinion. My philosophy is still very old school. The fastest way to disrupt any play is up front. Okay, the center touches the ball every play. The fastest way to the quarterback is a straight line, which is why I always feel like your interior guys are, I don't want to say way more important, but in a lot of ways, your interior guys are more important than your edge guys. The edge guys are your glory guys, but those D tackles in a lot of ways are more important because that's the quickest way to the quarterback is straight up the middle. I believe you should build from the inside out. Georgia is showing that you should build from the inside out. So the formula really hasn't changed, if you want to be honest. Though there's an argument with the way the game has evolved and the receivers are now valued way more than running backs are valued. Look at the draft. Receivers are going, you're getting 3-4 receivers in the first round, whereas you used to get that type of from the running backs. Now teams will wait to get a back. So the way the game is evolving with the pass game and receivers being, speed on the outside, you can make an argument that you need to match that in your secondary, but it all still starts with the center and the quarterback. And if I can disrupt that handoff, if I can disrupt that timing, if I can get that quarterback off his square, I like my chances. So that's just my opinion on that. But there's some different philosophies out there on defense and how you can build it So just my take. That's my take. Demo says, I know it's early class of 25 efficient leads for Armando Blunt. I don't want to talk about 25, Demo. We're not no. We're gonna focus on this. I don't get into recruits years and 2 years out because a 16-year-old don't even know what he's eating breakfast for in the morning. I don't want to do that. We are excited about November 11th, Mr. Marif. Server Boy says that's a hard no. Ask TCU. They will tell you that changed their mind on. I don't disagree. I do think there's different philosophies to the game, but again, like I said, Georgia has shown that you still build from the inside out, right? I think ultimately that's how I am too. Last two hosts on the Renegade Report was losing their mind about this Lester recruitment. I'm sure they were. There were a lot of people losing their mind that claim to be in the know about things. Never understood that. You claim to know stuff and have sources, yet you didn't know. And now that Lester has kind of been confirmed to be a silent commit this whole time, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive you're going to get a lot of people coming out saying they knew it the whole time. So shout out to those individuals. That's ultimately what's going to happen here shortly. He's going to see a lot of people say, yeah, man, we knew Lester was silently committed the whole time. It was the same, and it'd be the same people that just Wednesday were telling you, man, this isn't looking good. Deion's about to do it to us again. Then again, maybe they were just getting clicks, generating likes and views, and getting interaction. That's their job. There's their job. Their job. I don't even blame the content creators no more. Insane. I blame the fans because y'all fall for it every time. I blame the fans. We fall for it every time. Mr. H in the building says, what up, POLK? Just tapping in. Charles Lester coming to Tallahassee, baby. Let's go FSU. Ultimately, I think he gets it. I'd be surprised if he didn't. What do you call an O-line with 2 freshmen? You're 2 injuries away. Yeah. Porous. A work in progress is my answer to that. I call an O-line with 2 freshmen a work in progress. No matter how talented those freshmen are, freshmen will have freshman moments. Did Mike just stuff Dion in a locker? I think so. I think so. We'll see if that locker still has Dion's name on it in December. Ultimately, I think so. I really think Lester's. I don't want to say locked in. Again, I think this is Dion's not gonna give up. And again, I think Dion might have us right where he wants us. Ultimately, I think that Lester sticks with this, especially if we do on the field what we are expected to do this year. I think we'll be fine there. So ultimately, I would answer yes. I would answer yes. Insane says I didn't fall for it. I've been believing. Yeah, no, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying the fans in general, at large. The reason why some people have a platform is because all you gotta do is come on a computer and say I know stuff. You don't gotta verify nothing. You gotta say I got a source. I know a guy that knows a guy that knows the family of a guy, and he told me X, Y, and Z. That's all you gotta say. And Florida State fans are so desperate and hungry for this information that they'll be like, "Oh yeah, man, hell yeah!" It's okay. I ain't mad. That's why what I tell y'all every episode. I am just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. I don't know nothing. I don't know nobody. I ain't got no sources. I look at the stars, I read the tarot cards, and that's how I just get on here and give predictions and opinions about Florida State football from the same sources that y'all see on the internet. The 247s, the Noles. Shout out to all of those guys because that's where I hear my stuff. I don't know nothing. But y'all enjoy the conversation, obviously, because that's why y'all keep coming back and showing support, and I appreciate you. But if you're coming over here from breaking inside news, you ain't going to get it from me because I don't know nothing. Let's continue. I'm hearing ITT will make his. Oh, he's making a commitment tomorrow, Panama. So let me reel you in. You must have missed the first part of the show. He decommitted from USC today. He will be committing tomorrow, Saturday. So I don't know where you heard early next week because it's happening tomorrow, Panama. We got to get you in the loop, Panama. We got to keep you in the loop. I bet she's going to add another blue chip prospect tomorrow come Saturday. How competitive do I think the fall is going to be? I'm so excited. I think that receiver room, competitive. You got dogs all over it. Running back room, you got dogs all over. I can't wait to see the offensive line and how that plays out. O-line versus D-line should be some battles. Let's keep everyone healthy. Don't go too hard. But again, you can't reel that in. They got to practice how they play. So O-line and D-line should be a dog fight come fall. This is the type of stuff, and even if you think your DB room is maybe needs to get a little better, well, they're going against Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson and Winston Wright and Hakeem Williams and Dustin Hill and Kentron Portier. If anything, our receivers gonna make them DBs better, right? We should have the type of fall camp where I can make an argument. Those guys, what they're going to do in the fall is going to be harder than almost any game they play, with the exception of maybe LSU and Clemson, right? But what they do on the practice field in August should be harder than anything they face during the season. Should be fun to watch, Brandon. It's okay to be wrong, Carrie. I'm glad you said it. It's okay to say, I don't know, but this is what I think is going to happen. The thing is, the perception is you can't get people to be interested in you if you don't pretend like you know. People just got to vibe with you. I think I got 130 people in here, not because they think I know something, because they just vibe and like what I do and like having a conversation about football. I mean, that's what I think. Maybe 130 people in here just because, I don't know. But just again, disclaimer: 130 people in here. I don't know nothing. Mr. Maurice back at it. By the way, hit the like button because I got 130 people in here. I should have at least 100 likes. I'm only sitting at 85. I feel a little bit disrespected. 130 people. I should have 100 likes. I'll settle for 10 more likes. Get me to 95 likes at least. At least, please. I'd appreciate it. But Mr. Maurice, FSU recruiting is in a different class than Colorado. We're not talking about Colorado no more, Mr. Maurice. Give that up. We ain't worried about Colorado. A CP still climbing an uphill battle recruiting there. The fact is FSU's competing with FSU says a lot. No locker stuff. It's a lockers. Don't do that. Because if Coach Prime would have got Mike, y'all would have said, come on. Call a spade a spade. I know you like Coach Prime, but call a spade a spade. Bro, no one even follows Rivals no more, Marco. Honestly, legitimately though, I don't think anybody follows Rivals. It's On3 and 247. And On3 is so slowly. There's still things about On3 that I'm like, what? They're slowly catching up, and that's basically because they update their information on a regular basis. Where 247 sometimes follows behind. Man, shout out to Terrell. I appreciate that comment. He says, Polk, give yourself some credit. You have the brains of a wise man. Thinking, analyzing. GOAT. I don't want to say I'm the GOAT, but I appreciate that comment. I honestly do. I'm not the GOAT of anything, but I appreciate that you respect my opinion to that degree. So, and not a donation, but you got to get something for that. Here we go.
Tallahassee, I'm with the Seminoles. I've been getting to this paper, focus on my goals. Trying to run this money up and pull up in a row. All this talking gangster, that shit getting old.
We're doing really good. I think we're doing really good, Grill Masters. Seriously. I've been saying it all along. Like, I think we, and I spoke about this the last live stream on Tuesday. Go check that one out if you didn't watch it. We allow the trolling culture on social media to dictate how we should feel about things. Because Florida's number 3. I mean, Billy Napier's recruiting his ass off. You ain't gonna get he's recruiting his ass. Do I think he can coach a lick? No. And I think Anthony Richardson is about to show some stuff on Sundays that'll show you that Billy Napier dropped the ball with that thing. But we'll see. But he's recruiting his ass off. But they're allowing that stuff, being able to recruit, get on social media and troll the rivals. They're allowing that to dictate what you should be complaining. Bro, Florida State is whooping them on the field. And that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Is actually winning the football games and having bragging rights on winning football games. But we've gotten to a point now where we're bragging about, I got the number 3 class and you got the number 8 class. Bro, we still both in the top 10. So where's really the bragging rights going? And even Miami, like they're a top 20 class. I think they're right outside the top 15 at like 16 or something like that. The recruiting stuff is kind of weak, in my opinion. And again, this is coming from a guy of a fan of, has 2 5-stars committed, a very nice blue chip ratio. I mean, it's not like I'm saying this and Florida State's not recruiting well, but let other people tell you Mike Norvell can't recruit. Montre, who is your breakout players going to the fall camp? Not naming Travis or Verse. Obviously, you can't name Travis or Verse, right? Okay, those are probably the consensus best 2 players on the team, right? Breakout player. So breakout to me says a player that is going to emerge that hasn't already emerged. So no Johnny Wilson, right? Nobody like that. No Trey Benson. I think Keziah Holmes. I've been saying this, and Rodney Hill's a good one. And it could be Rodney Hill. It could be, but I think somebody in that running back room is gonna flash. So I'm gonna go with Keziah Holmes just because I heard I think it was Jordan Travis talking about Keziah Holmes and just how explosive he is at his size. You're talking about a guy who's probably the same size as Trey Benson and might be just as explosive. I'm gonna go with Keziah Holmes on offense and defensively. I probably can't pick Fisk because I've been high on Fisk since the moment we got him. Just because I know there's going to be a lot of expectations from Fisk, but I'm going with. I want to go with Azariah Thomas. I think I think that secondary needs AZ in his sophomore year to step up and be that guy. I don't know if that means he's a starter or not, but impact. He needs to start making an impact. I'm gonna go with Azariah Thomas. We'll see what happens. Come on, Odell. You need to pull a couple for. I'm not doing it and saying you trying to throw a fish out there and I ain't biting on it. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Surfer Boy, my resident Georgia fan, says, always love the show, bro. That's coming from Athens, Georgia. Yeah. My Georgia fan right there. Go Dogs. Appreciate you. Bolden, that'd be awesome. Appreciate you, Insane, of course. All right, Till Dog. Holla at you. Big fight tomorrow night. Absolutely. If Surtain gets... Bro, the crazy thing about it, some of y'all was calling for Pat Surtain's job. There were people in June calling for the man's job, and he just landed the number 2 overall corner in the entire country. Is in the mix for KJ Bolden, Jamari Howard, Solomon. The DB room ain't done yet. Been saying that we had a vast DB board. There were people saying there were people saying that Pat Surtain had to go. They weren't. But again, that's because they allow the rivals to dictate their thoughts on recruiting. Ain't even seen how the DB room looks yet. I'm so excited to watch them boys actually play a game. I want to see them DBs play on field because I think you're going to see a big difference. I really do. And that's not going to do anything but continue the recruiting surge for him. We'll see. If he gets Bolden, if he can pull Bolden, I think you have to say him, Dugans. I mean, even Coach Yak is up there now. All of a sudden, you got some recruiters. But notice how all of them are on offense. We need some defensive recruiters. Like this Colorado, the content creators feed their fan base pipe dreams, and then they eat alive, and then they get away with it because there's no history from the team. They had a ton of subs. That's what it's told. If you're a Colorado content creator, now is the perfect time to create a YouTube channel. Yeah, because like you said, they're going to get a ton of subs just from the fact that Colorado's never even been in this space before. Colorado ain't been this hot since Cordell Stewart was there. So Pat's a great one. Right, Pat's a great one, but I look at Pat as having that breakout season, so that's why I didn't pick him. But no, Pat is definitely a good pick. But just the depth on the D line, it's like Pat should get plenty of opportunities to have them one-on-ones. Tyler says he loves the AZ pick. That's mine too. There you go. AZ goes off this year. That's what we need it. We need it. If we get KJ, we will be in the top 5. Go Noles, what's up, Ben Foss? Another Georgia fan in the building. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I was questioning. I know. Me and you had plenty of conversations about Pat. I didn't want to call you out, but since you admitted to it, yeah, your ass was questioning Pat. Are you still questioning him? Y'all already know I got big fish. I got Earl, but I think it's going to be a great fight. I really do. 50-50 fight. Would not be shocked if Bud won. Bud is a dog, and he's got the dog in him. But I got Earl. I got Earl Spence. I think it's going to be a great fight, though. I think Mike Norvell deserves the same credit. And what I always say, the head guy, the captain of the ship, he's going to get the blame, and he's going to get the fall. It's just he's going to get the credit and the blame regardless. ultimately the head coach gets the credit for Lester, Luke, Cam. He gets the credit for all of that. Now there are levels to this. So, for instance, Odell is not recruiting well on the D line, or JP, or Randy Shannon at backer. But notice how those are all defensive guys, and it's like you have to soften that up. So then Mike Norvell as the head coach and Adam Fuller as your defensive coordinator are allowed to come in there and close the deal. And I don't know if we're doing that on the. I don't even think those positions that I just named are even giving Mike Norvell a chance to close that. But we close Surtain and Mike closes on the offense fairly well. Ultimately, the head coach gets the blame. I stand on that. Whether it's fair, regardless. Same thing. Same way as quarterbacks always get the credit for wins and losses, despite everything that happens in a football game. Same thing with head coaches in recruiting. Mike Norvell is going to be called a great recruiter or a bad recruiter based on what his staff does for him. Kirby Smart is called the best recruiter in the game right now. But his staff has a lot to do with that. What's up, Sarge? KJ he does make it official next week. And again, I think KJ is a bulldog. But Florida State's lurking. The logo's starting to mean something again, Sarge. I'm just saying. You think I don't think so. I think look, I criticize the way Deion has structured his roster at Colorado. But you got to give the man credit, just the boost that he's given that program. The fact that it's even being mentioned in major recruiting battles is absolutely absurd. Colorado Buffaloes. I saw a graphic on the internet of they have 700% rise in merch sales and attendance, just ridiculous numbers since Deion's been there. No, I don't think they get it. They don't have any leverage to get to the Pac-12. Without Deion being there, because no one cared about that program. No one watched that program. That was a 1-win program for years. Deion gets credit same way he gets credit with Jackson State and getting that team a new field and new jerseys and boosting Jackson, Mississippi, and economically. He's going to get the same credit in Boulder for sure. He brings that. There's no doubt in my mind he brings that. Now, I'm going to criticize what he does X's and O's wise. How he's structuring his roster. I'm not a fan of the way he's done that. But, everything else outside of that, hey, the man is a walking money bag. But we've always known that about Prime. I'm just honest about my, I don't ride Deion's nuts like some. And I don't hate him either. I'm just giving honest assessment on Deion. Dennis Briggs, deep. My issue with that, VJ, I would love for Dennis Briggs to be a breakout guy. Deep defensive tackle room. I think Fisk is the real deal. I think that Fisk and Fabo combination is going to be pretty legit, and I think you're going to see that. And Briggs got to beat out guys like Joshua Farmer and Daryl Jackson. So deep room there. Briggs might have a limited number of snaps, so I don't know. Montre's got Bud. I ain't mad for anybody that's picking Terrence Crawford. A few years ago, I would have picked Terrence Crawford myself. My issue with Crawford against Earl, I think Earl has the better resume at welterweight. And Bud has fought some of the same guys, but he's fought them after Earl has already fought him. I just think Earl has fought the better competition at that weight class. And I don't think Bud has. I don't know if Bud can I think Errol can break Bud down, but I think if Bud decides to go, I don't know if Bud's going to go in there and box. Bud has that dog in him, and he likes to fight. I think Bud might play into what Errol wants to do. I've seen Errol break eye socket after eye socket. It's just going to be interesting to watch, man. KJ coming to Athens. I hear you. Hugh Freeze always been able to recruit Panama. That's what he does. Bro, we already done talked about Randy. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. FSU Gnome in the building. The Braves won. Shout out to the Braves. Yeah, that was a great investment in Prime. The ROI is tough. It's through the roof, through the roof. Now he's got to win. You got to win, right? He's got to win. But like you said, great investment. Colorado wins 5 games max. I think that'd be a good season for him, man. I'm telling you right, and I've said this a million times. If Colorado makes a bowl game, Deion Sanders should be coach of the year. I don't care what any other coach does. I don't care if Mike Norvell goes undefeated and wins an Natty. If Deion Sanders wins 6 games and gets to a bowl game, give him coach of the year. I think they're looking at 4 wins myself. 5 wins max is fair. Polks, is Briggs a bust? Because a few years ago, the coaches had him high hopes on Briggs and talked about – no, I don't think Briggs is a bust. I think to Briggs' defense, he's been a guy that's been asked to do a lot. He's been a guy that's constantly been moved inside to outside. He's been asked to put on weight, take off weight, do the team needs, right? So a guy that's unselfish like that and has been willing to change his body literally yearly, we're going to move you back inside. So you got to bulk up. Like this year, he's up to 195, I think. But last year, we're going back to defensive end because they weren't quite sure if Versus was going to come in. What did you have opposite of Versus? D-Mac? So we're going to play you on the outside, Briggs, and get you down to 270. I mean, you're asking a lot from him. I don't think Briggs is a bust. I just think he's a solid college player who's been unselfish and hasn't really specialized inside or outside. But no, I wouldn't call him a bust. Everybody doesn't turn into an All-American. You need guys like a Dennis Briggs on your team who give you quality depth and quality reps. The all whites are money, point blank, period. When a prospect wears all whites, it seems like it always hits. CU will be better than UF. Well, that's not hard. They play a similar team in Utah, so we'll see how they do against Utah and how Florida does against Utah. And Sarge says this would be the best Georgia team recruiting class in school history. I mean, it has a chance to be. But I mean, that's what Kirby is known to do. He's known to pull big-time prospects. I mean, Kirby, some of the stuff that Georgia does, I'm like, man, this is not even fair. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a Georgia hater, so it doesn't hurt me to say anything nice about Georgia, frankly. It doesn't really mean anything to me. But what Kirby's doing is on a different level. Kirby's looking a lot like Nick Saban in his prime. When Nick Saban was in his prime, he was pulling classes like this, and he was signing classes that you said, man, this isn't fair. And Kirby's looking like that right now. Yeah, he did do that, and I wasn't. You're right. It just wasn't a good look, but he did some weird combos with the jerseys. My breakout player is Fred. Who the hell is Fred? Anybody know who Fred is? Your breakout player is Fred. Oh, your breakout player is freshman Hussey. You put a lot of stock in a freshman, Ray Fitty. But touche. I don't know who Fred is. I think he meant freshman Hussey. I'm trying to figure out who Fred was. But again, man, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. But this is the point of the live stream where, I mean, we've hit on all the topics, man. Lester, a Nole. ITT or ITT, however you say his name, offensive lineman from the West Coast, 4-star, will be committing to the book Good Guys tomorrow. You heard it here first. Not really. A lot of other people have already said it, but he will be committing to the Good Guys tomorrow, and that's going to be a big weekend for Florida State. And August ain't even here yet, so we're gonna end July on an extremely high note. We're not finished. The talk of realignment continues to be brought up, and it's got more FSU leaving the ACC has more attention than it's had in a long time. Man, a lot of good things going for Florida State at this point. Coach Bowden and his staff were the GOAT at recruiting. Kirby was a part of Coach Bowden's staff, which is one of the reasons why I don't hate. People forget that. I know Kirby went to Georgia, but he was a grad. What do you call it? A grad here. He went to grad school at Florida State and graduated from Florida State as well, and was a GA under Bobby Bowden. So, yeah. Like, I don't have nothing but love for Kirby Smart. And if Mike don't work out, I would love to see if we can. I mean, it's probably not feasible, but I would love to see if we can go ahead and get that. Breakout player for the Dogs is Oscar Delp. Why won't you just let us get Marvin Jones Jr. and y'all just bring him? Y'all don't really need Marvin. Sarge, go ahead and let us get Marvin Jones Jr. Omar Graham is a breakout player. I can see Omar Graham definitely being a breakout player. Whoever wins the third wide receiver job will be a breakout player. I don't think it's really a competition. Does anybody think it's a competition for the slot? I think it's Winston Wright. And the only other player I can see there is Ja'Kai Douglas. But I think it's Winston Wright. Let's flip Jeremiah Smith. They can definitely try. What are some storylines to watch in fall camp? O-line. I keep saying that guard spot. Is Robert Scott healthy? Because there's some talk. There was a recent photo that showed the offensive line and Robert Scott. It was Byers and Bless at the two tackles. No Robert Scott. So is Robert Scott healthy? If he is, I believe he's a starter. But is he healthy? I still think those guard spots are up. I assume Rada has one, but I mean, you got Meach. You still got Keandre Jones. I mean, you could still put Byers inside and have Bless and Scott on the outside. Maybe you move Robert Scott. I think the O-line is one of the key storylines to watch in the fall camp. I think and then the secondary. I don't think we quite know who's starting where in the secondary. We're pretty sure Ronaldo Green has one of the corner spots on lock. And I think we're pretty good or confident in our secondary. But you still got the slot in the opposite corner to figure out. Is it Jerrion Jones? Is he that good now that we're calling Jerrion Jones a starter? I'm not so sure, but we'll see. Is it Jerrion Jones? Is it Greedy Vance? Who, again, I think Greedy Vance has a lot of dog in him, right? But he's so undersized. You know, can AZ play inside? Can AZ be the opposite of Ronaldo Green and we move Fentrell Cypress inside? I think there's a lot of questions in the secondary in the fall and on the offensive line. Everything else I think kind of takes care of itself. I know wide receiver 1 and 2. And I'm pretty sure I know wide receiver 3. I know some combination of running backs 1, 2, and 3. I think it's going to be Keziah Holmes, Trey Benson, and Lawrence Toafili, though Rodney Hill might have something to say about some of that. And then his tight ends. We know it's going to be Jaheim and Morlock. Biscuit's up to 290, so I don't know where Biscuit fits in that. But, you know, we expect him to be in the mix. You know, I think linebackers is pretty much solidified with the top 3. Defensive line, you kind of know what you get in there, though it's very deep. I think Fabian Lovett, Fisk, like that's your top 2, and then they'll battle for everything up under that. Jarrett versus Pat, some combination of Gilbert, Edmond, can Dante Anderson or Byron Turner emerge? Where's Jaden Jones mixing all this? There's some pretty decent storylines, right? There's some pretty decent storylines, I think. Ken DeLoach's going to turn up. I expect DeLoach to be the best backer on the team this year. I think he will have that type of season. Kirby wants to coach in the SEC. Big Ten. Kirby probably does want to stay in the SEC, and I don't blame him. Winston, Douglas, and Jacobs. I don't think Jacobs gets a legit shot at the slot, though he may see some snaps this year. Definitely between Winston and Douglas, though. Who the hell is Fred Warner? Am I tripping? Fred Warner. I don't know who that is, y'all. Maybe I'm tripping. Armello will start at right tackle. No. He'll next year? Yes. This year? Nah. There's no way. And that's not a knock on Armello. There's just no way. Barring injury, I don't see it. But good prediction. We'll see what happens. I agree. AZ needs to be on the field. Feels good to be talking about evaluating strengths as opposed to trying to cover weaknesses. And then our David says, did you say Biscuit? Biscuit is 280. I exaggerated by 5 pounds, but he's listed at 285. So, yeah. I don't know why he got back up to that size. Some people are telling me that it's not that big a deal. But a 285-pound tight end is interesting to me. I don't know. Tyler says he's interested to see what Block Glenn does. I'll be honest with you, man. You got Travis. I don't care what happens. I don't really care because it's going to be next year where the quarterbacks are going to be put through the ringer. This year, just continue to learn. I'm not saying don't take any, like do your thing. Don't get me wrong, but you're not beating out Jordan Travis. That doesn't mean you don't practice hard. But next year's going to be the year. Next year's going to be the year that Brock Glenn, Rodemaker, if he's still around, and AJ Duffy are going to go toe-to-toe for that job. I don't know if I'm going to see anything from Brock Glenn this fall that's going to make me go, you know what I'm saying? Nor do I think I see what you're saying, but nor do I think he hops Duffy. I don't think he hops AJ in one fall camp. I don't. If push comes to shove, even if the depth chart says Brock Glenn's number 3, if push comes to shove and Travis and Tate Rodemaker get hurt, God forbid, I'm almost convinced they would throw AJ Duffy out there before they threw Brock Glenn out there. The RPM up for Bolden is up to 30% after Charles' commitment. I get it. Like I said, does getting Lester make a guy like Bolden go, I can play with that. I want to be in that secondary with that kind of dog. I think Leonard Warner. Okay, you might have been talking about Leonard Warner, but yeah, Leonard Warner's gone. So no breakout player for Leonard Warner. I don't think the 24 QB is on the roster. There will be drama. You don't think Luke Kromenhoek is that? Am I reading this right? I don't think the 24 QB is on the roster. There will be drama. Do y'all believe this from Lewis? He doesn't think Luke Kromenhoek is gonna sign with Florida State. Baylor had a 300-pound tight end. Shout out to Baylor. Bjorn Warner. What y'all talking about? Bjorn Warner was my dog, though. You think the portal. Well, Luke Kromenhoek. I'm confused at what you're trying to get at, Lewis. But I guess is he talking about this year? Yes, then Luke Kromenhoek. Okay, but the way you worded it was, I don't think 24 QB is on the roster. If you're speaking of this year, okay, that's accurate. But then you finish it by saying there will be drama, which I'm assuming means, I don't know. Anyway, but if Glenn passes Duffy through the season, then Duffy will likely leave eventually. Might force Nevada to make moves in the December portal window. You think so? I've been pretty adamant. I don't think there's a need to address the QB. You're recruiting the position to it. Right now, Florida State has again. This is not 1990s anymore, in the sense of Show me. I mean, Alabama just tried to, in the spring was trying to get a QB because their QB room is. Teams don't carry around 4 QBs on a roster anymore. Not 4 scholarship QBs because with the transfer portal, kids don't want to sit and wait till the redshirt junior year to get an opportunity to even see the field, right? They're going to leave and go somewhere else and get an opportunity to play. Only way I think they hit the portal is if 2 quarterbacks were to leave. Now, what if Brock Glenn's so good that Rodemaker and Duffy get passed up? Then I could see Florida State addressing. Then I could see you definitely. Then you have to hit the portal because even though you're bringing in Luke, Travis is gone. You're essentially losing 3 quarterbacks in 1 year. Travis, and again, in this scenario, Brock Glenn's so good that he jumps Tate Rodemaker and AJ Duffy. So both of them decide to leave. And you're only bringing in Luke. Then I would say, yes, you hit the portal for a quarterback. But just because of one guy hitting the portal, to me, you're still fine because you're bringing in Luke Kromenhawk. They've recruited the quarterback position extremely well. I don't think there's a need to hit the portal. Luke's going to sign, but none of them will start. It's going to be an elite QB from the portal. 1 or 2 will leave. Okay, so that's what you're trying to say. I would say good luck with that. I don't. That's not the game I'm playing. Quarterbacks you need to hit. I believe in Tony Tokars because he's done nothing but give me reason to believe since he's taken that quarterback job. You don't recruit the way you've recruited and then have to go to the portal because then that doesn't speak well of your evaluation or your development. You can't continue to recruit the top tier quarterbacks if you're going to the portal after recruiting AJ Duffy and Brock Glenn, and now you got the number 3 quarterback in the country committed to you right now. So while I hear what you're saying, I just flat out hope that's not the case, and I don't agree with it. And then you can't bank on there being an elite quarterback in the portal. Elite quarterbacks just don't be in the portal like that. And the ones that do hit the portal, they already know where they're going. Caleb Williams doesn't leave Oklahoma without knowing he was following Lincoln Riley to USC. Drake May talked about being offered, but again, he would have hit the portal knowing where he was going. I can't think of a quarterback that's out there right now that Florida State would, specifically target. I think everybody hopes that this man can make a field goal this year. And I don't agree with – I don't disagree with that. I think Duffy's on the clock. I think with Brock Glenn showing a level of talent and with Luke, showing that when the day Luke Kromenhawk steps on campus, he will be the most naturally gifted quarterback on the roster. Period. Doesn't mean he'll be ready to play. It doesn't mean he'll be the best quarterback on the roster, but he will be the most naturally gifted. So he's already going to put pressure. So yes, Duffy is on the clock. Can he step up to the plate? I am still a believer in AJ Duffy. I'm looking forward to see what he can become. I'm not writing or closing the book on him just yet, but yeah, sure. I don't disagree. And it's time, right? His time is starting. Like I said, clock is ticking. Well, I think too, if you're telling me that a redshirt freshman is going to jump you, remember, Tate Rodemaker's been in college for like 3-4 years already. He gets that COVID year exemption, but Tate Rodemaker's been in college already for this year makes his 4th year. And he still has another year of eligibility. Or 2 more years of eligibility because of COVID or something like that. If you get passed up on Brock Glenn, why would you stay? And then why would AJ Duffy stay? If a redshirt freshman is going to pass you up, then AJ Duffy and Tate Rodemaker are never going to see the field. So that's why I say 2 would leave. Right. And you have to plan for that possibility. Brock could pass Duffy this season. Tate in the 24 competition. And if you don't hit the December window, good luck getting quality. You definitely won't get quality. I agree with that. If you don't get your quarterback in the December window, I agree with that for sure. But I want to believe that we're recruiting well enough quarterback wise that I don't want to hit the portal for quarterback. And y'all know I'm down with the portal. I'm not one of those people that don't think the portal is whatever. I'm down with the portal, but I do think there are certain positions that you need to develop and grow on your own. And I think quarterback, for the most part, like even Caleb Williams, right, who hit the portal, Lincoln Riley developed that regardless. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I think certain positions you want to grow and develop on your own. UCF fan saying ITT is bag chasing. I love it because I don't know if we're 1 month Florida State's broke and ain't got no money. You trying to tell me that Florida State is dropping a bag over USC in Los Angeles? They're in Hollywood. The USC Trojans, LA, South California or whatever. The Los Angeles University of Southern California, Los Angeles Trojans, Hollywood. We're dropping bags in Tallahassee, Florida over that school. I love it. I love when fans talk about money and recruiting. Man, everybody's dropping bags. I keep telling y'all that stuff is a moot point. Y'all got to stop using the bag game as an excuse or as a reason. It is what it is. Everybody's dropping bags. Every school in the NIL era has some sort of competitive collective. None of these schools are broke that y'all keep saying are broke. None of them are broke. These are multi-million, billion-dollar institutions with the rich alumni. Some schools might care more about football than others, but none of them are broke. They just allocate their money where they see necessary. Johnny Buckets in the building says slime time. What weaknesses does LSU's offense have? I'm not so sure. There's a lot of talk that LSU has this amazing O-line, and I'm sure they're better from last year. But our defensive line is better from last year. I hate the notion that LSU got this much better, and so somehow Florida State didn't. I watched Florida State's defensive line dominate LSU's offensive line last year. Granted, a young O-line. They started 2 freshmen on that O-line, and so those guys will be a year better. But Verse is also a year better. Pat Payton's going to be a year better. Fisk wasn't on this defensive line last year. I don't know. I'm interested to watch that offensive line versus this defensive line. And their running game wasn't very good last year, so I'm interested to see how their running game improved from last year to this year. At least it wasn't very good in our game last year. Only if Cade Klubnik is an absolute disaster. The short answer is sure. You can still beat them if you don't slow down Shipley. Yes, I mean I watched Clemson beat us and they couldn't slow down Dalvin Cook, but that's because we couldn't really Sure, we can still beat them, but that means our offense has to be clicking as well. We can't slow down Shipley. Well, they can't slow down Trey Benson, or they can't slow down Jordan Travis. It has to. Those two things are going to have to combat each other. We can't not slow down Shipley, and then our offense also struggles. Then no, we're going to lose. Norville Central is good. Exactly. Their whole roster. This is the same program that went and bought Addison from Pitt, the Biletnikoff winner. Caleb Williams from Oklahoma, obviously. He followed Lincoln Riley. You don't think he got a bag? What about Barrett Alexander, who they got from Georgia this year? You don't think he dropped or accepted a bag to leave the national championship Bulldogs and go play over on the West Coast? So what are they talking about? That's what I'm saying, man. We got to stop entertaining the whole bags being dropped conversation. USC of all teams complaining about bags. They literally have bought that whole roster. I ain't mad at them. But I'm just saying, what are we talking about? Make it make sense. Bags are always going to be dropped. Appreciate y'all for getting me up over 100 likes. You guys are doing the damn thing, and I appreciate that, man. So continue to drop the likes. Doesn't it feel like Luke is the next? I am feeling that way. Something about Luke. I think Luke might be the guy, but we'll see. We'll see. We haven't had a guy like with this much hype around Luke since Jameis. So big. I've been Big Ten all the way. I'm still Big Ten. No knock on the SEC. I just think Florida State would benefit from the Big Ten. Somehow worse than Miami fans complaining about bags getting dropped. Don't even get me started on that. Have y'all noticed that have anybody heard about Ruiz this offseason? Compare last offseason to this offseason. When was the last time you heard about Ruiz doing anything this offseason? Is he even still alive? Is John Ruiz even still alive? I know his company's lost like millions of dollars since going like public or something like that. Anybody know what's going on with Ruiz, man? You think that stadium's still gonna get built, or what's going on there? I don't know. I think the bag man might have went broke down there in Coral Gables. So I don't agree with that. I think if this is a hunch, obviously, right? I don't know anything. I think if Florida State was to make that move, I think they would carry Miami with them. I do believe that. First of all, you value that rivalry way more. First of all, Clemson's not a rival. I know Insane going to disagree with me, but if I gotta pick a team to take, because notice none of these teams go on their own. There's always a partner. Like even Colorado, who's making the move back to the Big 12. There's an alleged partner that will be announced shortly that's moving with them. So these teams don't move on their own. You get Texas, Oklahoma. You get USC, UCLA. When Texas A&M and Missouri came over. So none of these teams move dolo. I believe Florida State values Miami way more than they value Clemson. No knock on the Clemson fans or whatever. But and even as a Florida State fan, like if I'm picking the team that I'm going to move to the Big Ten with, I'm picking Miami. Clemson can figure it out. I'm keeping the Miami tradition alive. I don't care about, again, Clemson's not a rivalry to me, so I don't care. I don't care. You know. And that's another reason. I just think the SEC would be murderer's row. The only thing that fell off a bigger cliff was Ruiz's stock price. Ruiz was talking way too much. That's what I'm saying. That man was tweeting everybody last year. Ruiz, I ain't heard from Ruiz at all. Fighting them taxes. Ruiz going to end up in a box on the side of the street. But, man, that Ruiz stuff, it's so funny how that played out. The crazy thing is the crazy thing about Ruiz is you could see that coming a mile away. Everybody was saying when he emerged, first of all, he emerged out of nowhere as this huge Miami booster. I remember it like it was yesterday. Had never heard of John Ruiz before. He emerges out of nowhere. He's buying Mario Cristobal. He's buying new ADs. He's talking about a stadium. He's extremely vocal on social media. And you could see it coming a mile away. Like this guy, he's either some like genius I think he's a lawyer or something. Whatever he's got is about to set the world on fire, or this thing is going to crash and burn. And sure enough, it crashed and burned. Clemson is a damn rival, but not bigger than Miami. I hear you, man. The Bowden Bowls have been dead, bro. Again, the only thing that made that thing a thing was because they've been the best two teams in the conference. So, of course, the best two teams in the conference are going to be a natural rivalry. But, hey. So the rumor is FSU is supposed to announce a plan to leave the ACC. But oh, look at that! I'm telling you, that thing is coming quicker than y'all think. I don't know if August 15th is accurate. You know, like Ardavia said, it's it's um it's a rumor. Um, but I think it's going to be a lot sooner than people think. Who you got in the fight? I got Earl, man. What's up, Big Kev? But I got Earl. Spence. Champs 99 says he is a con artist. He's something, and it's not credible. It's what he's not. He's a lot of things. Credible, I don't know if is one of them. What happened to the Ruiz? I don't know, Ahmad. You tell me. I have no idea what happened to this Ruiz dude. This time last year, he was very vocal. And now he's completely gone MIAO. You got Spence. I got a couple of, I could have sworn you had Bud a couple. No, I've never switched up. Nope. I've never switched up. I've always been Earl Spence. You misheard. I've been Earl Spence since day one. I think it'd be a good fight, though. And I have nothing negative to say about Terrence Crawford. I'm just picking at Earl Spence. But if you told me Bud won, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Terrence is that kind of fighter. So supposedly we have to announce intentions to leave by the 15th, or there is some waiting period. Well, they might as well just announce it now then. If all you got to do is announce it right now. Grillmaster says, I'm just tired of people saying the grant of rights is ironclad. Like I said before, these people don't know anything. They just regurgitate stuff that they see other people on a camera talk about. No one's read that contract. Even the people that talk about it haven't read the contract. People talk about this stuff, they ain't even read the grant of rights, but because someone that they listened to said, oh, you can get out the grant of rights. So then they get on here and they regurgitate. Or Florida State ain't an AAU team or whatever it is. They get on here and regurgitate. They don't even know what AAU stands for. They're just regurgitating a lot of stuff. Listen, that's why you pay lawyers. Lawyers can find almost anything in any contract. There's loopholes in anything. Get you some damn good lawyers, which I'm assuming Florida State has done. They'll find a way out of the grant of rights. What do you think about the Pitt game? That's the game before Miami. I mean, if Florida State's not on their A game, it's an away game. It could be, it could be a hiccup if you're looking past them. They have to announce by the 15th, or we have to stay still to 2025. But even if we announce by the 15th, we don't leave until after 2020, after the 23 season, which is fine with me. I think it's a game we'll win as well. POLK, let's take a shot of some Remy. So I had the 1738, but I ain't opened it yet. But I will take one shot. This is what I'm on tonight. Yes, sir. So I'll take a shot of that, of some tequila. The Remy, I'm not opening yet. I'm saving that for a rainy day. Tell you what, we get KJ Bolden, I'll take 2 shots of that. Bud all day. Hey, Loden, I hear you. And again, I ain't mad at you. If Bud chooses the box, then he wins by decision. If he tries to fight, he loses early. If you know Bud, I don't think he chooses the box. I think Bud ain't – it's not that he can box. We know Bud can box. Bud is a fighter too, though. I don't know, man. I'm more worried about Wake than Clemson. And so I feel like Pitt game could be a trap game. It definitely could be a trap game because, again, of where it's at on the schedule. It's right before the big showdown with Miami, regardless of records, right? That Miami game's always going to be circled on the calendar. So I don't disagree with that. Here's my question for you, Ben. Where's Georgia's trap game? because I have a sneaky game, and I don't know how this is going to play out, but I'm interested to see this team and how they do. I think South Carolina could be an interesting game for Georgia. I'm just saying, Beamer's a very interesting coach, and I'm interested to see how that team looks. Bro, did anybody see the video? Did anybody see the video of Caleb Plant smacking Charlo in the mouth? Oh, by the way, Kerry, let's do it. Don't. I'm gonna take it for you, Kerry. Very possible. Very possible. If I'm just looking at the schedule and potential trap games, though, right? That's a potential one. But it's very possible that, but even 2013 had some. That Boston College game, we were so dominant that year. People forget that Boston College game. Well, what did Boston College put up? Boston College put up like 30-something points on us, didn't they? I'm going to look that up, actually. Right? We forget about that game. So it's possible, right, that any game can become competitive. Yeah, Boston, it was 48-34 in that game. We were so busy blowing everybody out. We forget that, like, that Boston College game was a competitive football game. So any given Saturday, y'all, If we get Smith in saying, I'll bow, tip the hat to you, whatever you want. You name it. Tell me what you want. If we flip Jeremiah Smith, you name your price. I ain't giving you no money, but you can name your price. I'm glad we're starting to see it, Briley. I'm glad we're starting to see it. I mean, that's a great question. I don't know, bro. You're going to win some, you lose some. Lester get his, JoJo will get his, right? Great matchup for years to come, though, hopefully. That's what I'm saying. Plant was alone and he smacked him right in the mouth. I hope there's a video of what led up to that moment, though. Because Plant said, don't ever put your hand in my face or something like that. And then he hit him. Or no, he said that after he hit him or something like that. So I hope we get to see what led to that moment. But that's probably a fight you're going to get now. I think Tennessee takes a step back, man. They lost too much talent, but we'll see. You can never count UF as a trap game because that game should never be looked past. So while I understand what you're trying to say, I just don't agree with the concept of Florida or Miami ever being trap games. Your rival, the biggest games of the year, call it for what it is. Those can never be considered trap games, in my opinion. Well, he got slapped in the mouth and didn't do nothing. That's all I'll say. Ole Miss, that's a fair one. We yell Pitt for 2020. Yeah, they beat the brakes off us. But everybody beat the brakes off of us in 2020. So it is what it is there. Oh, man, you ain't missed too much. You know how we do over here. Just chatting it up. Bro, I hope not, because I told y'all JoJo was never coming here. So why would we fire the guy who's been the second best recruiter on the team behind Alex Atkins for the last 2 years? I mean, I remember we wanted – I won't say we. I'll take the burden on my shoulders. I was at a point where, like, man, Dugan's got to go. And then last year happened. And it took a year. And 1 year, he's completely – not only did he flip the room in 1 year through the portal, But remember, I never thought Dustin Hill was coming, and Dustin Hill gets here, and then Hakeem, and then Jerry Jacobs, and now Goldie Lawrence, and now you look at this year, and he's already got 4 wide receivers committed. You're probably going to have 3 when McCoy goes to Miami, but you're probably going to still sign someone else. I don't know if it's Jeremiah Smith, but you're going to have some guys, man. Bet. I got you. First of all, I can let you on the show anytime. You know. When I did an open show the other week, no one wanted to come on here but a handful of people. So come on the show whenever. But I got you on a hoodie and all that other stuff. If Jeremiah Smith flips to Florida State. So remember that. Somebody screenshot that, clip that, whatever. Yeah, and I don't think Tennessee's gotten better is the thing. That's why I don't think Tennessee's really in the mix there. That's just me though. I don't know if anybody become a rival, but I'd be excited to see just the teams that we don't normally play, like Florida State and USC would be fun to watch. I mean, watching Florida State and Nebraska play again would be fun. Maybe Florida State could rekindle their old, matchups with Maryland. Remember, they were in the ACC, and that was a team that you played yearly. So maybe you could rekindle something there. I think there's plenty of fun matchups for Florida State in the Big Ten. Obviously, the big boys, Michigan, Ohio State, And I don't think I'm not so sure the Big Ten's done adding some pieces. So who knows? But just off of what we know, Florida State playing either one of those West Coast teams, Michigan, Ohio State, Maryland. I think JoJo sticks. I really do. I know people keep saying, oh, games got to be played. Bro, JoJo Trader knows the team he committed to. I said this last episode we talk about games having to be played, and that's what everybody likes to say. The team's recruiting well now, but these guys they're committing to a team that they know have not the best expectations. JoJo Trader watched Miami's offense last year. He also knows that a lot of those guys are coming back. He also knows that, can you name a receiver in Miami's receiving core right now that's worth a damn? Please, somebody name one receiver in that core name a receiver in that core that would be an FSU. Forget starting. There's not a receiver over there that would even start for us. Is there a receiver over on Miami that would even be in our rotation? So when you put it like that, because the answer is no, I would be interested to see what y'all say in the chat, but the answer is no. Why would Trader decommit? He knows what he's committing to. He knows he's going to come over there day one and be the best wide receiver on the roster. He wants to stay home, obviously. I don't think JoJo's going anywhere. I know we want to think that we can sign everybody. Look, Miami won 5 games last year, and they kept both 5-star offensive linemen and a multitude of other very highly rated prospects. Those kids knew what they committed to last year. They're going to know what they commit to last year. Doesn't mean that they'll get the same caliber of player this year because of last year. I don't expect that, but we'll see. If they have a better season, maybe. But JoJo Trader knows what he got himself into. They know what they got himself into. Again, they don't have any pass catchers over there like that. I say everybody talks about Colby Young and like he's got potential and 88's okay. I don't know. Is 88 that much better than Kentron Portier? I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not trying to be whatever. But it's Colby Young. And I'm going to look him up because that's his name, right? Colby Young, Miami. Colby Young. Number 88, right? No, he's number 4. Or who's number 88 that you're talking about? Colby Young. Let me see. Who's Miami's I want to see who led their team in receiving last year because I thought y'all was talking about Kobe Young, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about someone else. Miami. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Y'all got to be talking about Kobe Young because, again, y'all talking about Kobe Young. I think he switched his number to number 4. Maybe he was 88 last year. Y'all realize the man had 376 yards on the season, 12 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns. Y'all do realize that, right? Kentron. I'm going to look up Kentron for y'all. So look at this. Kentron had half of the receptions of Kobe Young. Kobe Young had 32 receptions. Kentron had 14 receptions, 4 TDs. Kobe Young had 5 TDs, 283 yards at 20 yards per catch. Kobe Young ain't cracking our receiving. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't see it. Kobe Young's not cracking our room, bro. He ain't better than Kentron Portier. Just based off the numbers. There's not a receiver on that team that's going to come over here and put any fear in anybody in FSU's receiving corps. Point blank, period. On half of the receptions, Kobe Young barely outproduced Kentron Portier. So I'm not feeling that. JoJo Trader's going to go over there and be the guy from day one. The only thing Kobe Young has that has you a little bit interested in him is he is 6'5". But hell, Portier is 6'4". So, I mean, whatever. I ain't worried about that. We good over here. I mean, their leading receiver was Will Mallory, who's gone. Like, Restrepo wasn't even that good. I'm assuming he's coming back. Bro, I'm not worried about anything they got over there in that receiving corps. Now, granted, some of that stuff I absolutely had to do with the fact that their quarterbacks were absolutely god-awful last year. But do you think their quarterbacks are all of a sudden going to be that much better this year? I mean, I guess if TVD stays healthy, then maybe. The wife had, bro, you got to take care of the wife because she'll – don't worry about me. You can watch me on the playback. Take care of that. Well, this will be Leonard Hamilton's last year as a head coach. I think there's a group of people that hope so. Yeah, sure, he has some ability. Kentron has some ability. Again, the question was, would they come here and play over the guys we already have? I don't believe so. The numbers don't tell the tale. TBD favor Restrepo and the other QBs couldn't hit with water. That's true. Again, I do admit that the quarterbacks were not great last year. So they're just saying he has some talent. I got you. But again, I think Kentron has some talent. So we'll see. So, and with all that said, y'all, we went for 2 hours strong. Great night to be a Florida State Seminole. Charles Lester III commits to the good guys. FSU jumps up in the recruiting rankings to the top 10, number 7 on 3. I think we are number 8 on 247. Expect another big commitment tomorrow, literally big commitment from a big offensive lineman out of California who just recently decommitted. Matter of fact, decommitted today from USC. Expect Alex Atkins to come in and get what he wants like he always does. And I hope now we can stop the scary behavior as Florida State fans. I hope now we can let our nuts hang a little bit and say, you know what? We are Florida State. We supposed to be in these recruiting battles. Every time Deion Sanders come around, we ain't got to get scared and tuck our tail between our legs. Like we here. And like Primetime said, we coming. We coming. So as far as I'm concerned, we should be this is the season. I don't know where the season ultimately goes, but be very excited from a recruiting standpoint, from an on the field standpoint. I mean, look, y'all know we don't say we're back every year, but everything's trending in a positive direction for Florida State Seminoles. So I thank everybody, man. If you didn't hit the like button on your way in, hit the like button on your way out. Share the video, man, as we continue to build the community. Please share the video. Let's build the 863 Seminole TV channel. Let's build the brand. Become members of the tribe. Like, subscribe if you're new. Share the video. It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. I want y'all to stay classy, Seminoles. And we are out here. Go Noles. I might get one more live stream out here before I am MIA for the entire month of August. So I'm gonna try to get at least one more live stream in the coming week, in the next week. Y'all won't see me tomorrow because there's a fight tomorrow. You feel me? But I'm gonna try to get at least one more live stream out before I head off to the desert, and I'm gone for a month. But I will be back for LSU. I will be back for that game. And that's probably going to be the next time y'all see me if I don't go live in the next week. But it's right around the corner. But again, stay classy, and we out here. Go Noles. And I will catch y'all. Again, I'm going to try to catch y'all one more time. But y'all have a good rest of y'all evening.